What happens when two women
from opposite sides of the world
come together for one purpose?
Very much sisterhood.
Very much becoming
The Very Much Podcast.
We did it.
It's always a setup process.
Like, you know what I mean? We got to switch it up here and there.
Set it up to set them up for. But seriously, oh my gosh, if y'all can notice, we have a different film setup going today. Y'all been saying, bring us in closer. We want a more intimate situation, and we hear y'all.
Yeah, we listen. So now we're cozy. We're hanging out with y'all.
Yes.
What's up?
I just love this even more. It really just gives the vibe of just a conversation.
It does.
Flow.
It does. And you're like, you're right here.
Yeah.
You were across the room.
But how you been? Like, what's tea?
Tea is tea. I've been good, working, busy. I haven't been doing a thing, y'all. Oh my God. I've just been working. You know when you get into like just doing stuff, like nothing for me. Like I'm working, I'm cleaning. We're like, that's about it. I haven't had fun.
Is that protocol for a girls' night?
I'm basically letting you know now. We have a girls' night coming up. No, because you need a girls' night too.
You literally need to like relax. That's why I love our friend group, because we get together like once every like 2 months. And that's a really good like.
It's a good enough
measurement
split
for me.
I feel like we need to actually do our Sunday dinners because that's gonna be like a moment.
Yes.
Because rotating each other's houses. That's
Sunday
cute.
dinners.
Grace started us off and we played her.
When?
She cooked Filipino food for us and everything. She did the whole nine,
Was that
remember?
a Sunday night dinner, though?
No, it didn't happen on a Sunday.
I'm crying. No, Sunday night. But you know what? I was thinking about friendships. Like, friendships are really what you make them. Like, you can, it's the little things. Like, us going to the gym that one weekend, like, anybody can get up and go. It was a free pass.
That was so fun.
It's just about doing it. Getting out the group chat.
Doing it.
Get out the group chat.
We always made it out the group chat with my birthday trip. Then I was like, we're staying in the group chat.
No, let's talk about planning trips with friend groups. It's hard.
We've never done it for real in our friend group, though.
Yeah. No,
I've traveled with Tony, but like that wasn't. No, Tony was on go. Like as soon as I said it, she bought her ticket before me.
She's on go.
She was on go.
Okay, so are we going to do a girls trip this year?
To be disclosed. I feel like Allie's about to graduate.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot.
It is gonna be. It's gonna be.
You know what?
But in due time, we're going to make it out the group chat. Yeah. But I love that for us. So yeah, I think things have been good for me on my end. 2 weeks ago, I was going. Yeah. I really experienced like, I want to say for the first time, but I think I recognize it because sometimes we be going through burnout and it's just like, you don't recognize it. And you're just trying to speed on. But I was literally at the point where I was like, I just want to lay in bed for 3 days and did. Don't want to talk to anybody, just put on some Netflix and just call it a day. And I did though. Like I literally laid in bed that whole day on Saturday, and that was exactly what I needed.
Here's my question. Yeah. While you were laying in bed, what were you thinking about?
Absolutely nothing.
Yes, thank you. I thought you were going to be like, I need to do this, that, and the third. Okay, good.
Oh, I was actually listening to this podcast. I don't know if it was a podcast or maybe it was a TikTok, whatever. And it was talking about how women, especially mothers, can be so exhausted even when they're getting the help, even when, things are okay. Things seem to be okay, but it's the mental load. Yeah. Like the load of like, okay, I got to get the groceries tomorrow. I got to clean the fridge. I got to clean this. I got to get this for the baby. I got to make sure she's at school on time. Like all of that is part of your mental load. Yes. Which is why even when we do get the help or do relax or do go on vacations, we're still stressed out because we're not relieving that mental
You're still
load.
Thinking about it.
And one thing that's helped me with that is really like writing things down. Seriously. Yeah. I'm always going to have a whiteboard somewhere. Like I need to write it down because I don't want to think about it. Like, it's just
to see it.
Entirely too much for me.
I'm unable to relax until all my tasks are done.
Really?
So even if I'm like, I'm just going to lay down, like that laying down is going to be almost useless because the whole time I'm like, need to do, and I just can't relax.
What do you think that stems from?
I have no idea, but my therapist is on speed dial. like I don't know.
Do you think it comes from a place of performance?
It could. I actually remember this one time I went to my mom's best friend's house for Thanksgiving and we were kicking it, like we were chilling, hanging out, and then everybody went to bed. And she caught me like in the middle of the night doing dishes. She was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "The dishes need to be done. Like I don't want to wake up and there's dishes." She was like, "Go to bed." Like, girl, what? Like, go to bed. Like, you don't have to do that.
Right.
But for me, it's like, no, I have to do that.
No, but that's
like,
me as well. That's why I'm like asking questions to myself. I'm like, is this a trauma response?
Is it a trauma? I know it's a trauma response.
Okay. Because one thing about me, like, I've got them trauma responses. Like,
okay. I'm glad that it's a healthy, I'm like, it's a healthy trauma response. Right. I'm claiming.
Oh my gosh, that's good. I think that, this week has definitely been significantly better than the prior weeks because my mother-in-law came to help us. Also, my mom has definitely been able to help us in a lot of ways, and it just feels good. Like, seriously, I cannot stress this enough. It literally does take a village. Like, it really takes a village.
That was not just a quote. Like, that's real life.
Like, real life.
Real life.
Having that support has been really, really helpful. And yeah, I'm definitely in a better place now than I was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So I'm feeling good about it.
I just hope that you don't have to get to like a burnout spot again.
Right.
To like remember to relax. So what is your game plan? Like, what is your split going to look like?
Yeah. So I think I've definitely realized that schedules, especially for a child, she's always been on a schedule, but I'm talking about put that baby in school schedule. like, let me have some time to breathe because another thing I want to talk about is the stay-at-home working mom culture. I'm not talking about stay-at-home mom. I'm talking about stay-at-home working mom. Like, I have found that is literally a recipe for disaster, burnout, overload, just stress. So my husband and I decided that we're going to be enrolling Genesis in school at the the beginning of fall. It's going to be in September. Yeah. And it was a hard decision because it's like, she's going to be 1 year old. She's still very young. She's an infant, but it's like, if I'm going to be able to show up 100% in motherhood, even 90% child, because I've been, you know what I mean? Like, you're never going to always be 100, but show up at my best version that I can in that moment. I need a break. I need separation. I need a schedule. I need to know that, okay, this hour through this hour, I can get my work stuff done, and then it's mommy mode. It's very like all mixed in right now. Yeah. And that's why I think I was experiencing that burnout. But now that we've definitely created those boundaries within parenthood and also for marriage, like, you want to be with your man. Like, sometimes you want to be with your man.
Okay. Like, I love you, Jenna, but you gotta go.
So definitely have found that is super necessary within our household to create a healthy dynamic.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I'm so excited.
You're going to be picking up your niece from school.
I need to be on the emergency list.
Like, you're about to pick her up from school.
That's crazy. And I feel like she's going to also, like, enjoy being around other kids, playing around, like, seeing different faces and stuff. Genesis is like a people's person.
She literally is.
She just be like, take me. So she's going to have a good time.
We're going to Ohio this Friday. We're literally going to Ohio on Friday for Javon's grandma's birthday. And Genesis loves family. Like, you could pass that baby to anybody in the family.
I love that. Bro, I had some kids in my family, and it's like, you just want your mama, like, your mom is begging for someone to save her life. And they're like, no. And Genesis just goes. I love it.
I saw on TikTok, and this girl was like, I can't stand when I'm at a family function, and I can't hold my baby. I'm like, you can take the baby. Please take the baby. Matter of fact. Like, for me, like, I just never dealt with, like, the whole I'm overbearing in some aspects, but like, I'm not like I'm the only one who can hold my baby type of person. Like,
you can take the baby.
Waiter can take the baby. Like, we're at the restaurant. Give the waiter the baby. Like,
that is so funny.
But no, I'm playing a little bit. But you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just saying, that's just not me.
Okay, so Genesis was late at church yesterday. Well, no, that was Sunday.
Genesis was late at church?
Lit.
Oh.
How's she gonna be late? You were late if she's late.
No, Genesis was lit at church. Like, we always get compliments after church on how people are like, oh my gosh, she sat through the whole service. I'm like, she's listening.
She's delivered. Like, what y'all mean? But y'all were so cute when you stepped out in your long white pants. I was like, with the blue blazer. And then there was another lady in there matching. I was like, it's a little family. Y'all were so cute.
Super adorable. But wait, don't we have a new topic a new segment? We have a new segment.
We have a new segment.
What's it called?
Are you really a Christian?
Are we really Christians? Because are we really Christians? We're about to find out in this segment.
It's going to be a fun trivia type of situation. Today is just for play, so please don't take seriously, like, if I fail this, because we're just joking.
Basically, we're going to be doing some Bible trivia. Our producer has some questions for us. He's going to be trivying us.
He's over here like, what question? He's finding out about it as we speak, y'all.
All right, question number 1. The Bible is the most popular book ever written as far as copies sold.
The Bible is the most popular book written as far as copies sold. That's true.
Like, agree or disagree?
Agreed.
I agree, yeah.
That's true, 100%.
I mean, because my Lord gonna show up.
I've heard that, though. I've heard that.
But isn't that crazy, though? Like,
yeah,
in all
because
languages and
truth
everything?
never dies.
Okay.
You've seen all the mystics die. You've seen all the Zeuses die.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. All right, here's one. Who were the 3 sons listed in the Bible?
Ooh.
Wait, we got to go back
The
and forth.
3 sons? No, we're both answering because ain't no way.
Who are the 3 sons listed in the Bible? What does that mean? Like, what sons?
Okay, better. Who were Noah? Who did Adam and Eve have? Who were their children?
Okay, so we got Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve had children.
And it was Cain and Abel.
I was going to say Cain, bro. You can't take my answer.
It was Cain and Abel, and then it was starts with a J, right?
No.
Okay. Cain and Abel, and then after that they had the good one because Cain killed Abel, and then they got out of that God.
Girl, I'm getting ready to say Javon at this point. Like, I don't know.
No, wait. Give me the letter that it starts with.
It starts with an S.
Dang.
Seth?
Right.
Yeah! She's a Christian! Oh my gosh, I don't mean to yell. Yo, no, I had Cain in the bag. I was going to say Cain. She ran with it. Now she have all the answers. Okay.
Okay, this should be an easy one. Eva, we're going to direct this.
Okay, boom.
Who did God tell to build an ark?
Noah.
Thank you.
Because don't play with me.
She's a Christian.
Okay, boom. We got 2 more. 2 more.
How many days and nights did it rain when Noah was on the ark?
How many days and nights did it rain while
Simple.
Noah was in the ark? 40.
Yep.
All right.
Me agreeing.
Simple.
This one is tough.
Okay.
I wouldn't even know this one.
Oh, what is it?
Okay. What was God's sign to Noah that he would never destroy Earth again?
What was God's sign to know that he would never destroy Earth again? The rainbow.
My whole thing is, why?
What?
Why do you know that?
I know my Bible.
Yo!
The rainbow.
And see how they you know what? I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there with the rainbow. I'm going to let the rainbow go. We're going to leave the rainbow where it's at.
Honestly,
That's deep.
they get tougher as you go. So y'all want some harder ones?
Yeah, Eva, it's your turn.
Okay, boom.
All right.
This is fun, actually.
This one is hard. Actually, let's... Okay.
Anybody.
Don't play with me.
Right.
No, because I don't even think Maya would know this one. All right, 12. What did Jacob give Joseph that sparked jealousy from his siblings?
What did Jacob give Joseph that sparked jealousy from his siblings?
Yep.
What did Jacob... Wasn't it like a robe?
It was...
Right, you would agree?
No.
Some type
I'm going to piggyback off of what Maya said.
No, it was some type of...
Was it material or was it materials?
Yeah.
Materials and cereals?
Okay. It's materials, a metaphor. That was actually kind of close. So it was a coat of many colors.
Bruh.
But I was...
She said a robe, Javon. You have to give it to
I'm talking about like a cloak. Like...
Right, of many colors, though. She said the material was cereals, because like Fruit Loops. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for connecting that, because I was not going for that, but I appreciate it.
All right, one more. Let's do one more.
Oh, Lord, please help me.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Let me give you this one. What did Joseph tell his brothers about his dream that made them so mad?
What did Joseph tell his brothers about his dream that made him so mad? I know the answer. Do you know it?
Wow. And I mean, I came up with the segment. Like, this is crazy. Okay. Maya, take us off.
Wasn't it that he was going to be a king? And that he was going to rule over them, basically? Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo. No, but honestly, the reason why I know all these is because I read the One Year Woman's Bible like 3 times.
You sure did.
Yeah. So I like all of the, especially like the Old Testament. I really got into the Old Testament when I was reading the 1 Year Woman's Bible, and it made it make sense.
I'm going to need to get through my 1 year. Because I got the same Bible. I just got to get through it.
No, but seriously, that's the reason why.
You read it 3 times?
Yeah. Like 3 years straight. And then that's when I just got a new Bible this year, like last month.
Okay, I got y'all next time because this was a little questionable.
That was fun. That was a fun little segment.
Okay, Per.
What are we even talking about today? Hold on.
Girl, we going to talk about a lot. Can we go through how good that message in church was, though? Because that ties into what we're giving today.
Yeah. So our message in church was just about what the resurrection of Jesus means and the power that holds. Like, everybody put on earth by default is a sinner.
Yep.
And sins and has this inclination to sin.
We inherited it.
And with the blood of Christ, with his sacrifice that he made, he has washed our sins away and given us the opportunity to truly live.
Yes.
To truly live. So I think the resurrection of Jesus also, it shows me that God always has the last word. Like, you thought you killed him, but yet he will live again.
And
like,
he rose.
And he rose.
Yeah.
Like, God will always have the last word. And that just goes into people's circumstance. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, like, it really may look like there's no way this is going to work out. Yeah. And then God will pull a miracle out of nowhere.
Yeah. And even as we're celebrating Easter and talking about Christ rising, it's not just like him. Like, we are associated with that. Like, we are resurrected in that. Isn't it crazy how, like, when we're doing Easter as Christians, we have Muslims doing Ramadan, we have Jews doing the Passover. Like, it's all around the same time. So we need to remember that the resurrection is not just Jesus. Like, we are in that as well. We are resurrected with him. And like Maya was saying, like, those sins are paid for. Yeah. I like me a payment plan, because one thing about it, he really took it all.
Jesus gave you a Klarna plan. He really did pay it all. No, seriously, he really did. And you know what's funny? I'm always watching it. Like, this is bad. Please ban TikTok, actually, because I need help. But it was this woman, and there was this guy, and he was, ministering on the street or whatever. And this woman came up to him, and she was angry, and she was like, if you say that I can give my life to Jesus and I won't suffer anymore, why are Christians still suffering? And the guy made a good point. And he was like, God never said you would not go through suffering. Matter of fact, he said you will be persecuted for following me. Yes. But see, at the end of the tunnel, there is light. And at the end of the tunnel, there is hope. You can either be walking on this path of life and there's just feels like there's no end to this misery, to this pain, to this depression. Or you can be walking and still going through things, but have this inner peace, this inner joy, this inner fulfillment, and know that all things are going to work out for your good. Yeah. And that just goes to show, like, there's 2 roads to pick. And
it's more than just like right now. Like, you're going to experience pain, like, on this earth, like in your body, but we're still spirits, right? Like, we're a spirit in a body. So you still have to go through human things and like flesh stuff. Like, life still has to happen. So you wouldn't be exempt to that because you're a Christian or because you believe in God. But how you go through that, how you deal, how you respond, how you bounce back is really what makes the difference.
And I recently had posted a video just about my personal testimony and where I was before
I love that video.
My journey through Christ. It was so hard for me to post that video, and that's how I know the devil be working. Yeah. And I've gotten so much good feedback, especially from Grace. Like, Grace is like, I've watched that video like 5 times.
No,
like,
literally.
It's literally been so impactful. So anyways, so I made that video, and it really just showed like the clear cut day and night transformation I've gone through Christ. And today I just really want to touch on how important it is on this journey through Christ to let go of your past, let go of who you were, and to embrace who you are and who you are going to become through Christ, but also being patient with yourself, extending yourself grace, and knowing you'll never, ever, ever be perfect.
So the old you versus the new you.
The old you. We love the verses.
Okay, but not even like a verses, like and, because it's like continuing. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's still, because that old you can pop up here and there.
The old you, listen, I tell you, like Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts says, I got some Eve in me. Like, I do have Eve. Like, some days I'm giving Mary, some days, but Eve will try to come up. I'm in traffic. I'm beeping the horn. Like, Eve will try to come up. You know, my patience is low and I'm ready to snap. She's gonna try to come up, but it's just about identifying and letting go of those past ways of responding. Yeah. My therapist was talking about how sometimes I still respond from a hurt 15-year-old girl's heart.
Yes.
And how important it is in those times where you're going to respond like that, to remember, I'm not her anymore.
You're not. And it's okay. Like, you don't want to get caught up on the guilt of having that moment.
Yeah.
Because you can overcome it.
Yeah.
I've literally been told the same thing by my therapist. And I love when they pinpoint the age where everything went down. It's like, that's that 9-year-old self again. And in the moment, like, she advised me to call it out and to, like, stop. Like, make it a thing. Like, make it known. Because sometimes these thoughts pop in your head when you're about to freak out, go off. The old you, cuss somebody out. Who knows? Okay. The old you. And it's like, just stop. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I'm not. Like, you have to almost like negotiate with yourself a little bit. Like, go back and forth with self.
But that even speaks on what the Bible tells us to do, how there's power in the tongue and how to declare over certain thoughts or declare over certain ways. And you're like, I rebuke that.
Yes. Because have you ever met someone that's like rude and they're like, that's just how I am.
Right.
It's like, nah. You can change that. You don't have to, like, that doesn't have to be who you are.
Yes.
You can move on from
My
that.
therapist actually specializes, shout out Monique, because girl, I love you. I actually had therapy this morning, so that's why I'm talking about it. But she specializes in helping people change the way they think so that they can change the way that they show up. It all starts in here.
Yes.
And sometimes we've been programmed to think a certain way for so long that we think that that's normal. We think we can't change because it's something we've been so conditioned to. But there is power within changing your thought life, changing your habits, and that will inevitably change the way that you show up in the world. And I think something I learned on my journey through Christ is when my mind was renewed, the desires of my heart changed, and I showed up in the world differently. I did not desire to listen to the same music. I did not desire to even show up in certain outfits or certain ways like that. I didn't desire it. It wasn't out of a place of fear that I fear, if for God, like I fear God, so I'm not going to do this. It was a place of love. Like I love God so much that I would never want to hurt him, just like a friend. I would never intentionally want to hurt you, right? So there's certain things I don't do or say. That's the same thing with your relationship with Jesus. When you start to have this love for Jesus, you stop showing up in ways that you showed up in the past because you don't want to hurt him. You would never want to hurt him in that way. So I think that's what I've learned on my journey through Christ. When you start to really get into this relationship.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's when it becomes a relationship versus just boom, boom, boom. Back and forth. Transactional, exactly. Once you start, like, it's in your heart. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even want to do those same things. Like, even with a parent, like, if I do this, my mama gonna do da. Versus, I'm just not gonna do that because
I don't want to hurt her.
I don't want to hurt her. I know better. Like, this is not good for me. Like, you want to understand why you can't do the things that you can't do, rather than just doing it out of fear. And do you think it matters if, like, I'm a good person out of fear versus I'm a good person from heart? Do you think that matters?
No, I do think it matters 100% because God looks at your heart.
Okay.
Even, that video I sent you about prayer, it spoke to me so much because we're trying to put into words our heart. And God was like, sometimes a tear is a powerful enough prayer for me. Yeah. I want to hear your heart. I want to hear the intimate parts of you. God doesn't care about some scripted prayer you're going to say to him every single day.
No, literally.
And that goes back to relationship. Like, he wants you to feel comfortable enough to tell him and to open up in ways you haven't before. Yeah. So it 100% is about heart. It 100% is about your intention and your heart posture. God looks at all that. Can you tell me about a time, as much as you feel comfortable, of course, when you felt your heart posture change towards a certain thing and you no longer had a desire for it?
Oh my gosh. It's going to be embarrassing.
What?
Girl, I used to talk ish. Like,
really?
I mean,
like gossip?
Gossip. I mean, none of my stuff together, but we're going to get into her. Yes.
Wow.
So I think, dang, that's so sad. I'm like getting the ick over myself now.
But like, it's important to revisit our past versions so we can acknowledge like how far we've come.
When I say get into it.
Wow.
I used to gossip and it was bad. Like, it just felt good. Like, it just felt good to, like,
Why
talk.
do you think that was?
Girl, my life was a mess, but I didn't want to talk about that. Ooh. And it's like, that one friend that just brings out, like, the type of friendship, like, y'all are in and y'all just don't do nothing productive, nothing good. It was one of those, but I got accustomed to it. It was gossiping and complaining. They went hand in hand. So we would just talk about whatever, insert name here. And then, like, when you're done talking, just like, and you got nothing else to say. Like, when you're not, it was so funny. And it was that. and just complaining all the time. Like it could be like the slightest inconvenience, and then I had the habit of dragging it out to like making a thing. And I think it comes up a little bit, and you're the best person to be friends with for that, because you're going to be like, go read your Bible. And then that's the end of the conversation.
I remember when a passage, like, I think this last weekend, you were just telling me you were stressed about certain things, and I'm like, go pray.
No, because I wanted to get into it so I can marinate in the sadness.
Like, no, go pray. Like,
when I sent you that 100 emoji, I was like, okay.
Like, literally go pray. Like, because there's some situations where it's like, you need to bring that to God. Like, there's certain things you need to get out from in here that's not going to be solved through a conversation with your friend. Like, that's something that's going to be solved, a conversation with your father, you know? So I think, I've always been a big advocate for bringing to the source, while also still keeping that space open to have conversations.
Certain things don't need to be talked about, though, because you're right. Like, certain things, like, girl, just go sit down somewhere, pray about it, you're fine. And other things, you're always there to talk about everything else with me. But yeah, I had a gossiping problem, and I had a just being super negative, bro. Like, and I mean, like, negative Nancy. Like, just, I would see the bad in every single thing, which is so crazy, because it's like, is that Eva? But literally.
When did you start to feel that shift into who you are now?
It wasn't working.
Okay.
It wasn't working. I wasn't feeling better. Do you know what's really funny? When I stopped complaining, I was trying to be funny. Someone told me I complained too much, and I was like, you know what? I just won't say nothing else. And then it helped.
The irony.
I was trying to be like, you know what? Since you don't want to hear my mouth, you're going to never hear from me again.
That's hilarious.
And then I saw life getting better.
Wow.
It was trying to, isn't that funny?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I would say for me, one thing that I've just lost the desire for completely, I wouldn't say, I would really say completely. It's secular music. Like, I don't listen, the only secular artist I listen to is J. Cole. So maybe I'm not 100% delivered. But I used to be a trap queen. Like, can you imagine me a trap queen?
When you say trap.
No, I mean trap. Like, hood artists of Rochester trap.
Out the bando.
That's insane to think about. Like, I really was on my Lil, and then the babies, and then the sons.
All the Lils. I will say, I think I haven't been delivered from secular music, but there's just certain things I don't want to hear. Like, I don't want to hear about violence and gun violence and sleeping around and all the, I don't want to hear about all the, like, just the obvious
because
nasty stuff. Yeah. And it makes me uncomfortable.
I can't relate. So when I used to listen to that stuff about depression, drugs, violence, I'm like, I could relate. I'm angry. I'm an angry person. I was angry, so of course I could relate. But now it's just like, skip.
But do you know what's crazy? Because music is that powerful. Like, the emotions of the artist, you feel that. So if you're listening to like depression music and just bumping,
I used to listen
it's
to
gonna
XXX.
live in your soul. You're that.
Like XXX.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Like, it was bad, and that's so true. Like, music has a lot of power.
Of course. That's why the devil works in the music industry, but we're just going to save that for another time. It gets into your soul. But that's why the beat that's been on this Christian raps, bro, I've been bumping. And I mean, we just needed a little for me to get it.
I just need a little something. No, Christian rap is lit. Let's not play around.
We've been sharing songs, and I'm building the name of my playlist is Holy Gworl.
Should we drop the Holy Gworl playlist?
Holy Gworl playlist. I love it. Okay, good. So you're done with secular music. So you can't even go to like a concert. Would you go to a J. Cole concert?
I would go to a J. Cole concert 100%. But like, if you say Lil Baby's in town, I'm like, okay.
And what else?
You know?
J. Cole is like a good one though. Because I feel like J. Cole's music is so conscious. Like, I love message. J. Cole.
Because he definitely still has like a lot of substance in his music. So I think, anybody who's spitting something real, I can appreciate, but all the rah-rah stuff, I'm
Wake up, drink the lean.
I'm like, why?
First thing I grab, I'm like, wait, you're confessing this for the world to know? But yeah, that's crazy.
Seriously. So I think the journey of becoming it's never ending.
Never ending.
There's always room for improvement, but also realizing you will never be perfect.
You will never be perfect. And trying to chase that will literally drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And then look at other people like something is wrong with them when nothing is wrong with them. And we're just not perfect. And we are born sinners. I love that God was like, you know what? Y'all ain't even asked for this. Y'all were just born sinners. So I got y'all.
Right.
I'm going to send my son
Yes.
to take all that away from you.
Genesis, I know that was not you. She just farted. 100%. And I think that on this journey, that's something that I have come to terms with, especially being in therapy. Like, my therapist is always telling me, you need to relinquish expectations. Because I have a lot of expectations towards people, and it leaves me feeling sometimes jaded within relationships. And she was like, when you can let go of your expectations and allow that person to show up how they show up, and then set boundaries from that place of how they're showing up. Yeah. Not allowing somebody to do whatever and then you still being 100%. No, it's okay. How are you going to show up? Cool. I'm going to support you through this, but there's also boundaries I need to set in place because I
think it's so crazy about the set boundaries part. And that was a big growth part for me, even in therapy, because I would just rather you not have to make me set those boundaries, which just comes back to expectations, right? Like, so this whole situation happens. I don't want to have to set that boundary. I don't know what it is about me setting boundaries. I feel mean. I feel rude. It's like, I don't just do what you got to do. So I ain't got to set these boundaries. Right. But people won't. And it's crazy to expect that.
Wow.
And you have to like take that responsibility onto yourself. Wow. So certain things I've talked about with my therapist, like she's like, you let that happen. I'm like, but they did it to me. She's like, you allowed them to do it to you. So you have to forgive yourself for allowing that to happen. You have to forgive yourself for letting that go on. And then you can now learn to set those boundaries.
That is really, really crazy. We even had a conversation where we were able to lay it out on the table, how we were both feeling, and then set boundaries within that space. Like, boundaries shouldn't be a scary thing. They shouldn't be a negative thing.
If it's scary, you don't need to be in that person's life, or they don't need to be in your life.
If you can't have hard conversations, especially with grown woman female friendships, so important. So important, because there's a lot of unspoken things that can happen within female relationships that leave people feeling jaded, hurt, just like all of this extra stuff that could have been avoided. Like, if we just sat down and were like, how are you feeling? How am I feeling? What can we do to make this relationship better?
But it's not that easy though. Like, that conversation that we had, like, we just had it, but I don't think that's easy all the time. I haven't been able to do that in other friendships as well.
Wow.
And I know some people just, even with family, girl, it's setting boundaries with family. It's like, it's so hard to maneuver. So it's not like an easy thing. Give yourself grace. You're going to learn to do it. But once you put that foot down, baby.
Yes, and it gets easier. That's the thing. Like, it does get easier over time because you start to value what boundaries can allow you to do. Yeah. And what boundaries, how they make you feel. Like, okay, I value myself enough to know I can't be in this situation. I can't be put here. This triggers me. I have to set these things in place for me. It's literally self-care.
It's literally self-care, and not even just boundaries with everyone else, boundaries with yourself. Because I know, like, this is going to be funny, but I have a cousin that is saving herself for marriage, and her boundaries are up. I mean,
I love that.
She won't even be caught past 7 p.m. with somebody. Like, she is going home. You got to know yourself. She only hangs out in group settings, and it's like, if you know yourself, why not set those boundaries so you can be successful, rather than be like, well, we were laying down.
Right.
And then yada, yada, yada. Well, you can just set the boundaries. I love it. And I think I do that with myself too. Like, when I order DoorDash, when I'm eating like those insomnia big old cookies, it's like, okay, this needs to not be my presence, because if I know it's there, I'm going to eat it.
What is a boundary that you have set recently that has impacted you in a positive way?
No phones in bed.
Ooh, that's good.
Yep.
No phones in bed.
No phone.
Hey, Javon. Because one thing about Javon, he gonna roll over.
And that's the thing. It's like, I set the boundary. Now he's in the pod.
I don't sit with my phone in the room no more.
Okay. I haven't noticed.
That's how it's supposed to be, though. Because it's not even that, like, I want to talk. But can we just not be on our phones? Like, let's just wind down. Like, but yeah, what boundaries have you set recently for yourself?
Let me think. I think I kind of spoke on this before, but like my boundaries within parenthood, what I can and can't do, how I can and can't show up, and knowing my limits before I get to a point where I do experience burnout. So even with the school thing, I think that was about, like, I can't do this at 100% 7 days a week, 24/7. There's no way. But if she's in school 3 to 4 days a week, I know that's a boundary I can set. So that way when we are together, it's the best time ever. And I'm not burnout and I'm not aggravated and I'm not, you know, all those things that can happen. So I think I've definitely been setting a lot of boundaries within parenthood. And also even to speak on parenthood, how I raise my child. You know, sometimes listen, one thing people gonna have is an opinion about how you raise your child. And I think that I have become so confident within my motherhood journey.
I love that.
Yeah, that even
Maya, every time we talk about you being a mom, it's just crazy because, like, I remember the day you gave birth. Like, I remember when you first, like, I watched you trying to nurse her, trying to latch on. And it's just so crazy because you've really grown and you've learned so much about yourself. Like, every time we bring it up, I'm just like, I can't believe my good sis.
There. You were there.
And I mean there.
Like, she saw it all. So, no, seriously, though. And just going from that point to now, it's only something... There's only things that you can learn through the process. You know, it's like I could have read all the books before she came here, and I still would not have known what I know now because it's really about experience. So I think one thing I'm more confident about and one thing I've set boundaries on is not allowing the opinions of others to infiltrate my family, infiltrate our household. Like, I'm going to do what's best for my family and our household, and that's that. And whoever got an opinion, that's cool.
That's so great for marriage, too. I feel like. I've been thinking about that here a lot, like just keeping it between your marriage and having those boundaries because it's family and you have other family, but that's not marriage. And it's like, this is between us. I'm not going to let anything infiltrate it because you feel the consequences of that. Yes.
Even like, you know, my husband and I, like, we don't discuss our conflicts with like our parents or like our friends.
That is so smart. Don't badmouth your spouse. Like that is,
we don't.
Why do people do that?
We don't do that.
If you think about it, you're going to be over it in 2 days max.
We don't, because there's going to be unmerited bias regardless.
Yeah, come on.
There's going to be bias. So we pray and then we come together and we figure out a solution. It's never we go out and tell the whole world about what we're going through as a married couple because that is intimate. That's part of our relationship. That's part of our household. So we keep that foundation real firm.
That's a good one though because it's not easy. Like in the moment you want to vent.
Right.
You always regret it though. Right. You always regret it, especially if it's something like that you're gonna just move on from. I've literally told my brother, go talk to your wife. Like, don't go on my phone. Right. Because I don't want to know that. Like, go talk to her.
I've even like been quick to want to call somebody up and talk about it. But then I'm like, this has nothing to do with them actually.
Yeah. And then I don't want to like let it fester.
Yeah.
And let's just move on.
Make it become more than what it really is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are some boundaries that
I really like that boundary though.
Yeah.
I'm good on that.
Yes.
I'm really good on that.
Yes.
I love it. So that's a great boundary that you have in your marriage now. Do you think of where you could have set boundaries, maybe like in past relationships or before anything prior, like not right now? Where is somewhere you're like, if I could have gone back in time, I
didn't even acknowledge boundaries were a thing.
Spell boundary.
Like I was like, what is a boundary? You know,
right.
Bounty hunter. I didn't know. So seriously, I didn't know that really was a thing that was accessible to me. So yes, 100%. There are definitely a lot of things I could have set boundaries in, and especially past relationships, but just to know that I have that power to do it now. Yeah. It's empowering. It's really empowering. So yeah. What about you?
I could have set more boundaries with family. And
that's
now they're up, baby. Y'all should have called me back in the day because now the boundaries are up. It's so hard to set boundaries. I think we're opposite.
We are opposite, yes.
Because you be setting boundaries with family, but the friends are a little shaky, and I'm the opposite.
Yes. So this is our dynamic. When it comes to setting boundaries with family, I'm like, friends, I'm like,
oh, I can't do that. And I'm like, friend, what's up? But with family, I shy away. I think my culture is, they confuse disrespect with like boundaries and disrespect be a little blurred lines, and it's like me doing what's best for me is not disrespectful to you. I understand you feel that way, but this is just what I have going on. And being so family oriented and being raised by a village and wanting everyone to feel loved and respected, it's so hard to like put my foot down, especially when it's an elder. Like I have a elder complex. And it's you're 2 days older than me. I can't do that. But I really had to learn that I have to preserve myself, and it's not a selfish thing. It's self-care.
Yes. Boundaries are self-care. Is
Self-care.
this an episode on boundaries?
No, literally. Like, are we talking about boundaries?
Because I think boundaries are important when you go into your new improved self.
Yeah.
You know, because I know that my prior self, my past self lacked boundaries, and that showed up in a lot of areas. So on this journey through Christ, of course, I've also learned that God accepts and loves and honors boundaries.
Yes.
He loves boundaries.
He loves boundaries.
He doesn't want you to be putting yourself in certain circumstances and situations that can cause triggers.
Yeah.
He knows your triggers. He knows what hurts your heart. And he doesn't even want you to be in those situations. Which is why these boundaries are important.
Mm-hmm. And you just got to flee it sometimes. Don't even put yourself in that predicament.
No, seriously.
Boundaries, it's so funny, but my boundaries at work, the boundaries that I set, I kind of dropped them. Because I said no friends at work, and I done messed around and made a friend. But hold on, with this new role that I'm about to get, I'm making no friends. Like, I'm not playing. I don't want no friends in the workplace.
Why do you think that's beneficial for you?
Because it's work. It does not make sense for me to think like we're friends. You know, we can be friendly. Yeah. But I'm just a sucker for good conversations. And it's like, after 3 good conversations, you're my good sis.
Right.
And I can't do that. I just want to keep work professional. Yeah. I don't want to blur the lines. Yeah. So it's important for me. Hold me to this. In my new role.
In your new role.
I will not make friends.
Speaking of new role, how is that going? So Eva just interviewed for a new role.
I'm still interviewing. It's a huge process. It's probably going to take like 3 weeks. I have another one tomorrow.
Gosh.
Yes, so I'm super excited.
I remember when you were interviewing for the role you were at now.
Yes.
And I remember you calling me like, I don't know how this happened.
Yes.
I got this job.
When I tell you the Lord really works, bro, talk about proclaiming stuff. I literally was going to work every day like, it was a mess. And I remember just journaling, and I was like, I want to work from home. And I was just saying all these things. And when I tell you God has Amazon Prime delivery, the next week I get like a random message from like a random tech company for a random work at home job. Like, it was almost just crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I love that. I love how God be up there. I feel like God would have like the best storylines for like a movie, because he really just be working. Like, how did you come up with that?
Speaking of storylines, every time I tell Eva to watch a show, she doesn't. So let's just all pray right now that Eva will actually watch the show, because I'm going to start it
Wait.
today. What's it called?
You've been telling me to watch Love is Blind,
no,
right?
It's not Love is
You're
Blind.
done.
It's not Love is Blind. It's called The Chosen.
Okay.
And it's about Jesus.
Yes.
So if you don't watch it, he's watching you.
You be feeling bad when you swipe through something about Jesus, like, Lord, I love you, but hold on.
No, but it's called The Chosen, and it's a series just about Jesus' walk here on earth. And I saw a snippet on TikTok which really just like had me in.
So is it like,
it's about Jesus' walk here on earth from 30 when he was baptized by John, all the way up into his crucifixion and how he rose again. So it's basically the Gospels here,
but
a show.
Who's playing Jesus?
It's definitely like a Middle Eastern dude.
Okay, because I was about to say that was gonna be the deciding factor for me.
No, seriously.
Okay, boom.
So yeah,
I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting into The Chosen. If you guys have watched it, comment down below. What do you think of the show? What's tea? Because I saw a snippet and I was bawling my eyes out. It was about how the father of the girl who was quote unquote dead, he was coming to Jesus and he was like, my daughter's dying. She's so sick. I need you to heal her.
Yeah.
I believe that you can heal her. And just like the way Jesus was looking at him, he's like, you don't know me, but yet you believe.
Yes.
Like, your faith is so admirable. Like, you believe, yet you don't even know. And I think sometimes people get so stuck on the technicals of this relationship with Jesus,
trying to make it make sense,
when quite literally it will never ever make sense. It will never make sense. And I think that's why Jesus always tells us to come to him with childlike faith. I watched my daughter and how she is literally happy at a ball. She's happy at a little tag on a blanket. Like, she's happy for nothing. And Jesus tells us to come to him like that, to humble ourselves.
I like
and
that.
to allow our hearts to be open to the change that's going to happen. Because you're going to change through Jesus. You have to be ready for that change. You're going to lose the desire for certain things. That's part of the journey, but I promise you there is beauty within that change.
That's why building your own faith is so important, because if you grow up like in a Christian family, like your family's faith is not going to get you there. You know what I mean? Like, you really want to make time to build that relationship yourself and not just have your mom praying for you, your grandma praying for you. Like, you want to have that faith for yourself to believe yourself.
100%.
And then you're going to see it in your life. So I like that. Yeah. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to get into The Chosen.
We will update y'all next podcast because...
So yeah, you trying to come for me. I've told you to watch several things that you haven't watched.
Eva told me to watch this show that was not even English. It was all types of different languages.
That was my one mistake.
Like, as soon as I saw that the words weren't matching up with the lips.
Do you know what I would never watch? As soon as I hear an Australian accent, I'm out. I don't care how good it is.
Australian?
I'm done.
That's hilarious.
I can't do it. What's that really good show Javon was trying to get me to watch? I'm like, I hear Australian accent. I can't do it.
What Australian?
It was something. The accent just sent me off. I can barely do a British accent because why you talking like
British.
this?
I can get it to British. You're literally from France.
But that's not an accent.
Now you know I don't know geography.
Anywho.
Anyways, let's get into the comment section. We got another segment for y'all called the comment section. We are going into the comments, finding the girls, seeing what the girls are talking about. That's how we're going to wrap up our pods. And yeah, what are the girls saying?
The girls had a lot to say on the last podcast, which was amazing. So let's get right into it.
Okay, Kiki from the block has something to say.
Okay, boom. So Kiki says, one issue is that mistakes that people may have done in private are now public because of the social media age. Everyone's business is online, and that makes it so much easier for people to be canceled. Cancel culture is the result of over-information. And my girl Kiki, you're right.
Kiki, you ate that up. Kiki, let me just say
no
you
crumbs.
ate that up.
Yeah.
Oversharing on social media has become so normalized.
Your own business. Like, you're putting your business out there.
This one girl was on TikTok talking about, I can't even reword what she was talking about, but how she's done all this crazy stuff with all of these men. And I'm just like, have we just lost shame? And shame just ran out the window. No, seriously. And I'm not saying shame in a condemning way. I'm talking about, like, these are things you should never say out loud.
No, literally, like, you will literally see, and this is horrible. First of all, hold on. I'm not on social media, but my man was just showing me this guy, and I don't even like these kind of stories. Long story short, he was in a shootout, right? Mm-hmm. They came to his house, pop, 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 the whole nine. He survived it, Maya. Goes on Instagram.
I saw that.
Flexes, and is dead in the next 30 minutes. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a drug. I feel like
it is a
social media is a drug. Don't think you're not a drug addict because you're not smoking. Oh, you're addicted to social media.
Let's get into another. Actually, TikTok has taught me a lot because I'm after we talk about another TikTok. But this dude was like, so usually we have like three things as humans. We've got like our work, we've got our home, and then we have like some extracurricular situation.
Yes.
But with inflation, things have gotten so expensive that people don't want to go out and go to coffee shops and go and, you know, movies and all that type of stuff. So social media has become their third thing. It's like their third world.
Yes.
So with social media becoming their third world, people take that too literal. And one thing I can say about social media is like how literal people can get, because this dude was like, this girl posted this TikTok. She's like, live while you're young, do and experience everything you can, because when you're older, you know, you may not have that opportunity. The comments all scroll through. That's pretty ableist of you. You know,
oh my gosh. Everything has a label.
And
like,
my thing,
please.
it's always is. Like, please.
It's always is or oh, but like, goodbye. I'm not doing this.
It's just like people are just. Basically, social media is a drug, and you are 1,000% right, Kiki. Like, oversharing is a thing, and maybe we need to not do that.
Do you know what I have never fallen victim to?
What?
A little quote when your man pisses you off.
Why? Like, why would I ever?
It's so crazy to me, like, or like when you fight with someone and then you see your friend like, I'm single on their story.
That is
like,
very much a 2015.
Like why are we doing this? Okay, so we're done oversharing. Thank you, Kiki.
Thank you, Kiki. Okay, this one's good. This one's a controversial. So Pink Sparkles 9125 says, just because you go to a club isn't a bad thing. Is it? I don't know if she meant isn't or is it. She said, isn't a bad thing. You can have fun without getting tempted by what other people do at a club. LOL.
I agree halfway. And I halfway disagree. Obviously, like the posture of your heart, blase, I get that. My mom told me the same thing earlier when I was going off to college. She was like, you can have fun, you can go to parties. It just depends on your intention when you go there. But at the same time, like if you are a tag-along type of person and you're in the mix and you fall for the peer pressure, you don't have to do that. Like you can have all the good intentions you want and then you get in the situation and LOL.
You need to know yourself.
So sometimes just stay home. It's okay. But if you can turn up, then turn up. You know, whatever works for you.
It's always like, it goes back to your intentions. You know what I mean? Like if you are you in the club every weekend and you telling people you can be in the club every weekend. It's just like, why are you in the club every weekend?
Why?
Like, why are you in the club every weekend? Or are you out celebrating a friend? Like, it's just like, there's a lot of different reasons. And you need to know your reason before you get up in that nightlife, because it's very shady here in Atlanta.
Nightlife.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like she was trying to go to the club. Like, girl, just go to the club. Like, if you want to go, you can go. It's okay. Okay, boom. Carlin says, as a wife and mother of a kingdom family, we need others to keep confirming the message of what we are called to do. And truly, what are people missing out there? I was married young at 19, and that part I wouldn't change. All women I counseled through just said what y'all said, a period of free 20s and then crying in their 30s for a husband, baby.
Yeah, that was last episode where
Go
we
watch
touched
last
on that.
episode, because
that was all of last episode.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's a good one. I think it's important to like affirm. We need to be affirming the correct things.
Affirming the kingdom. Because you said last episode, like, when you were growing up, there wasn't somebody who you can look up to make Christianity look dope. Yeah. Because it is. Like, living for Christ is fire. You know what I mean? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
And that's your job as a Christian, to make it look fire.
Exactly.
Make it dope. Do we forget that part, that as Christians, we're literally on a mission? Like, I always be forgetting, like, it's not about you, girl. Yeah. You're on a mission to spread the word, and that's in your actions and the stuff that you do, how you represent. Like, you're representing a brand of the kingdom. Like, take pride in that.
So we think about the kingdom, right? We talk about being literal ambassadors of the kingdom of God. Yes. Think about you being a brand ambassador. You represent the brand. You want to show the brand off well. You want the brand's products to look great. I'm an ambassador of the kingdom. Yes, I'm going to make the kingdom look great. I'm going to make every fruit of the kingdom look amazing, because that is my job as an ambassador of the kingdom.
Yes, that's the most important part. It's not just keep it quiet to yourself.
Yes.
Spread it.
Spread light.
Oh my God, that was really good. I love that.
What a great conversation we had on today. I honestly don't know what we're going to title this, because we touched on a little bit of everything, but I think this was a really important and good episode. I especially love the boundaries part. I think that's super powerful and something I'm definitely going to keep in mind.
Yes. Shout out to boundaries. Shout out to boundaries. And speaking of boundaries.
Shout out to boundaries. That's a good title.
Shout out to boundaries.
I like that.
Okay,
Shout out to boundaries.
This is crazy, but yeah, shout out to our producer and Jenna in the building. Whoop whoop. Yo, these mics got me feeling like a podcaster. Like, let's get into it.
Make sure that y'all are emailing any questions to the Very Much Podcast email. Also dropping some comments down below. We're going to be doing the Meet Me in the Comments section every episode. So if you want to be featured, make sure that you are being interactive in the comments.
And that's that. Please pray for me, because we're gonna keep up the "Are you really a Christian?" And I promise y'all I am. But thank you so much.
All right, we love y'all, and we'll see you next episode.